Welcome, basketball fans, supporters, dreamers, and every person drawn to the power of relentless pursuit. Today, we gather to reflect on the remarkable rise of a player whose journey has been defined not by ease or entitlement, but by discipline, vision, and a passion for the game that took root long before national headlines recognized her brilliance. This is a tribute to a hooper who changed expectations at every level she touched, a guard whose intelligence and creativity made her a sensation long before she stepped onto a college court, and an athlete who continues to inspire with her blend of competitiveness, humility, and unshakable belief. This is the story of Paige Bueckers, told through the lens of her basketball evolution, from local prodigy to national phenomenon to the leader she stands as today. From the moment Paige Bueckers first picked up a basketball, there was a certain natural ease about her game that caught eyes and sparked curiosity. She moved with fluidity even as a child, dribbling with instincts that seemed far developed for her age. While some kids played as a hobby, Paige studied the game with a seriousness and love that made it clear she was building something meaningful. Growing up in Minnesota, she quickly gained a reputation as a young athlete who could see the floor differently, pass the ball differently, and think the game differently. Her childhood wasn't just about playing. It was about learning the nuances of timing, rhythm, confidence, and connection. She was drawn to the creativity of the game, the way basketball allowed her to express emotion and intelligence at the same time. And from those earliest moments, her path began to take shape. As Paige advanced through youth leagues, her game blossomed with incredible speed. Her court vision became her trademark, even before national attention arrived. She was the type of player who could make a pass others wouldn't even consider, and she could execute it with precision. Coaches marveled at her ability to elevate teammates, and her peers grew comfortable relying on her leadership even when she was among the youngest on the court. What separated Paige early on wasn't just her skill, it was her emotional connection to the game. She played joyfully, but also fiercely. She competed with a smile, but that smile came from an internal fire that pushed her to win every drill, every matchup, every possession. By the time Paige reached high school, her name was already circulating through Minnesota basketball circles, but nobody could have predicted the national attention she would soon command. At Hopkins High School, she evolved from a promising young athlete into one of the most electrifying players the state had ever seen. She became the centerpiece of a powerhouse program, bringing creativity, scoring ability, and maturity far beyond her years. Paige dominated games not through sheer size or brute force, but through precision, intelligence, and timing, a style that captured the imagination of fans across the country. Every time she stepped onto the court, there was a sense of anticipation, as if everyone knew they were about to witness something unexpected, something brilliant. Paige's high school career was decorated with milestones and trophies, but no statistic or accolade could capture the experience of watching her play. Her on-court creativity resembled a conductor leading an orchestra, orchestrating fast breaks, manipulating defenses, and dissecting opposing schemes with a grace that felt effortless. Her feel for the game became her signature, the skill that set her apart from every other player in her class. And as her profile grew, so did her leadership. Instead of becoming overwhelmed by attention, she embraced her responsibility to her team, understanding that true greatness isn't defined only by personal success, but by the ability to uplift others. As college recruiters began to take notice of her generational talent, Paige had a decision to make, and that decision carried a heavy weight. The entire country wondered where she would go. Some believed she would choose a school where she could become the unquestioned star. Others thought she might seek a program with a particular style of play. But when Paige announced her commitment to UConn, everything made perfect sense. The Huskies were not just a program. They were a dream and a proving ground. Their history, their expectations, their legacy all aligned with Paige's commitment to excellence. She didn't choose ease, she chose challenge. She didn't choose comfort, she chose greatness. And that choice would shape the next chapter of her evolution. When Paige arrived at UConn, she stepped into a world where the standards were sky-high, where the legacy of legends hovered over every practice, every game, every moment. Yet she handled that pressure with the same calmness, intelligence, and composure that had defined her youth. In her freshman year, she wasted no time introducing herself to the national stage. She became one of the most efficient, dynamic, and impactful players in the country, leading the Huskies with a style that felt both fresh and nostalgic. Her passing continued to be her most beautiful weapon, crisp, selfless, inventive. Her scoring rose to new heights, marked by clutch performances, smooth shooting, and the ability to take over when needed. And throughout it all, she remained grounded, appreciative, and hungry for more. Her freshman season will forever be remembered as one of the most captivating debuts in college basketball history. Fans tuned in not just to see UConn win, but to see how Paige would control the game. The awards began pouring in: All-American honors, Player of the Year recognition, historic milestones. But behind the glamour was a player whose work ethic remained unchanged. She was still the same athlete who had studied the game as a child, still the same competitor who attacked drills with intensity, still the same leader whose focus remained on elevating her teammates rather than chasing her own spotlight. The next chapters of her college career were shaped by challenges that could have broken lesser athletes. Paige faced injuries that tested her spirit and patience. She endured rehabilitation processes that demanded mental toughness and emotional resilience. She watched from the sidelines while her teammates continued the grind, and she felt the weight of expectations, both internal and external. But her comeback story became a powerful extension of her evolution. She didn't return simply to play, she returned to thrive. Her appreciation for the game deepened, her understanding of leadership matured, and her focus sharpened. She learned what it meant to confront adversity not as an obstacle, but as a teacher. Through every setback and every comeback, Paige's connection to basketball never wavered. She became more vocal, more strategic, more intentional. She didn't rush her recovery because she valued longevity, health, and holistic improvement. And when she was on the court again, the same brilliance emerged: the court vision, the scoring touch, the poise, the decision-making. But now, those skills were elevated by a new level of wisdom. She had grown not only as a player, but as a leader and a woman. Paige's evolution has never been solely about talent. It's been about her mind, how she sees the game, how she breaks it down, how she anticipates plays before they unfold. She has always been a chess player in a sport full of checkers, and that strategic intelligence is what continues to define her future. Whether she is creating for teammates, reading defensive pressure, or stepping into clutch moments with confidence, Paige plays with a command that few athletes ever achieve. And as she steps into the next phases of her career, she has transformed from a prodigy into a complete, polished, mature player whose influence extends far beyond her own box score. Her journey is still unfolding, still growing, still carrying the promise of greatness she continues to chase with humility and joy. Paige represents the evolution of modern basketball, a blend of skill, IQ, creativity, and resilience. Her story is one of steady elevation, of meeting each level with grace and surpassing expectations again and again. And the beauty of her career is that she's far from finished. The future continues to expand before her. Opportunities, championships, leadership roles, inspiration for young athletes who see themselves in her story and believe in their own. Paige Bueckers is not merely a basketball star. She is a force, a presence, a symbol of what it looks like to pursue excellence with intention and heart. Her evolution will be studied for years, admired for generations, and remembered as one of the most compelling journeys in women's basketball history. And as she continues to write her story, the world will keep watching, inspired by the passion she brings to every dribble, every pass, every shot, every moment. Thank you for joining this deep, reflective look into the basketball journey of Paige Bueckers, an athlete whose evolution continues to reshape the landscape of the sport. If you enjoyed this long-form tribute and want to hear more stories about athletes whose dedication and brilliance inspire millions, be sure to stay connected, share your support, and come back for more. Your presence truly means everything, and it fuels the passion behind every tribute we create.